pleasant welcome to news today with me, Zac Sherman. Stories making headlines. President George Weah refutes statement by opposition political parties of setting the country backward. Armed forces of Liberia announce plans to assist the joint security during the December 8 elections. Opposition collaborating political party continues to backlash processes leading to the December 8 referendum. Well, those plus more are packaged for you on this presentation. When we shall return, keep watching. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. President George Weah on Tuesday endorsed the candidacy of Senator Henry Yala in the Bon County senatorial race, addressing a group of partisans in Banga, where he also broke ground for the construction of 100 housing units. President George Weah dispelled rumors that Mr. Yala was not the chosen candidate for the CDC and asked those involved in such an act to halt their misleading activities or be punished by the party.
I heard that President Weah will not come to Banga, will not come to Bon look, I said to Mexico the other day, sometimes don't listen to people. In 2017, I remember the stadium. We were here, you asked me. You asked me, Papi, I'm here today because you called me to tell me, not asking me to tell me that Yala you are. You know what I say? When I keep the police say I want Yala, I want Yala good man, I beg you. I tell the money, I say I want Yala. No one know I want Yala. I will make sure that you get Yala.
The Armed Forces of Liberia has outlined plans to assist the joint security in its operation during the 2020 elections period. Outlining the plans when he served as guest on Fabio Radio Morning Show, Major General Prince Johnson said the army will remain in the barrack and will be in the position to assist when the need arises. The Army's Chief of Staff has been explaining more.
We, as the Armed Forces of Liberia, we're going to be in our barracks, but we are going to support the joint security that is headed by the IG. So in case of anything that the police cannot handle, we will be deployed at strategic location to come in support of the joint security. But there are levels in order for us to get in. So with our experience of what been happening in previous elections, as back date to the 1985, where you saw the Armed Forces of Liberia personnel in the street, like after the result election, like trying to tell people not to celebrate according to the Washington Post article during that time. We are going to remain in our barracks. You're not going to see us in the street. The only time you will see us is like if police cannot handle a situation that is like the normal can withstand what is happening. They will have to seek our support through the justice minister, and it goes to the minister, the president, and the president will either, based on the threat level of that incident, the president is either going to call a strategic meeting of the National Security Council to make a decision, but based on the threat level, either green, arbor, red, or whatever level, they will definitely be able to assess, and the president will inform the Minister of Defense, when the Minister of Defense will now inform the Chief of Staff in order to support the police. And when we come in, we are going to take command of that situation, and as soon as the stuff starts silent, we turn over to the police. That would definitely go. So that would be a scenario. But for individual soldier, there's this code of conduct that I just told you about. We are not allowed to go to any polling station in uniform to cast vote. We are not allowed to be part of any campaign activities. We are not allowed to have campaign posters paraphernalia of any political party, like on our cars, our POV, private owned vehicle, or our homes, anywhere in the barracks, is not allowed.
The Liberia Revenue Authority, LRA, will on Thursday, December 3, appreciate and honor outstanding taxpayers for the fiscal year 2018-2019. The LRA Annual Taxpayer Appreciation Day program, which was launched in 2017, is intended to appreciate all taxpayers and specifically recognize compliant and highest tax contributors for meeting all their tax obligation on time and in full. About 44 individuals, businesses, and organizations will receive awards and recognitions in the categories of more compliant taxpayers, higher tax contributors, large tax, medium tax, small tax, petty trader, real property, among others. The recognition is also part of efforts to reinforce a culture of voluntary tax compliance to increase revenue collection with the aim of supporting Liberia's development programs. Agri families on the banner Bring Back Our Children on yesterday continued the protest action in front of the U.S. Embassy in Monrovia. The protest, according to the spokesperson of the group, is in apparent failure by the government of Liberia to provide the living body of their children. Here is a report from KMTV's Aisin Yeba.
Today was another scene of protest by families of the three boys, but this time in front of the United States Embassy in Central Monrovia. They allege of government not being in their interest since the news broke out of their children alleged drowning. Godfrey G. Kakula is the spokesperson of the aggrieved families.
We are here on the ground of the U.S. Embassy just to present our follow-up petition, because initially we had a petition that was submitted to the ambassador of the North Africa, received any redress. We have had other events of other embassy, and we have gotten redress. Information have come through the Great Farm, some through other public media, and the government have not said anything to it. So because of that, we are here to tell the ambassador or any representative from the embassy that we don't trust the working of our government. One, the government of Liberia lied to us that they were sending people in bomb at the farmer belt to go and do offshore choice. Only to go there and protect Muslim or illegal money company that he has there. Two, they told us that they retrieved the body from over the bomber, the Sequoia River. That body that was taken from over the Sequoia River, we have a photo of it here. That couple of that body that was taken from Sequoia River, they the body that they show us when we were over the Sequoia. In fact, they didn't show us the body with our intel in the bomber bed. That's why we call it Anakin village. They snapped the photo and sent it to us. They were the body when we were found over the river 13 days after the purported drowning. That's the journalist. And it got a bullet wound on it. That's the journalist. I can show you again.
One of the parents of the missing children also had this to say.
I mean, look, when I hear the questions, most often I'm like, if cotton is being stuck in the government ear, you know, because it's 1 month, 15 days. The police is deceiving themselves, thinking they are deceiving us. We are far ahead of the investigation. We have established our children where we belong. We have established a children that they even go on the kingdom. So why would the police director be making mockery of himself? That's total mockery. And you expect us as parents to be behind such a thing like that? We're in his own right and fine. We are getting facts from the people.
From the U.S. Embassy in Central Monrovia, I'm Aisin Yeba reporting for KMTV News.
If you're just coming our way, folks, this is a reminder that you're watching news today only on KMTV. Stories still coming up. President George Weah refutes statement by opposition political parties of setting the country backward. Opposition collaborating political party continues to backlash at processes leading to the December 8th referendum. We still have more for you right after this break. This is news today. The opposition collaborating political parties has maintained that processes leading to the holding of the special senatorial elections and national referendum are no longer fair and transparent, and therefore wants the referendum to be separated from the special senatorial elections. Addressing a news conference in Monrovia Wednesday, the chairperson of the CPP, Alexander Cummins, also stated that the National Elections Commission, in collaboration with the CDC-led government, has manipulated the referendum process to violate the Liberian Constitution.
In less than 6 days, on December 8, 2020, our people will go to the ballot box to elect 15 new senators. These special senatorial elections, though required by the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, have not been handled in a fair and transparent manner. They have been manipulated by the National Elections Commission, NEC, and the ruling CDC to produce a rigged process. Second, the NEC unilaterally, again in collusion with the CDC-led administration, launched the voter roll update exercise and decided that the VRU would be carried out through a previously failed mobile process instead of the time-tested standard stationary process, without any reference to the other parties who are equal competitors in the democratic process. Furthermore, ballots on the proposition are being printed without consultation and consensus with political parties on the symbols to represent each proposition on the ballot. In addition, the public has not been educated enough on each symbol and the amendments they represent in order to be properly informed and exercise their right to vote. Interestingly, the NEC has decided to ascribe unto itself the power to correct and redo the Gazette and proceed with the printing of the referendum ballots in total violation of the laws. Total violations of the laws. We cannot and must not amend Article 50 of our Constitution without the corresponding amendment in the language of Article 93 of the Constitution. Fellow Liberians, as you all know, the pending referendum is seeking to change the language in Article 50 from a term of 6 years to a term of 5 years. But the referendum makes no mention to change the language of Article 93 from 2 terms each of 6 years to 2 terms each.
In a wake of speculations that the Weah-led government is using a national referendum to seek an illegitimate third term, President George Weah has dismissed speculations. Speaking to a cross-section of people in Gantanima County, the Liberian leader said his government has not violated the Constitution, adding that the referendum is in the best interest of citizens.
Listen to an opposition person, I don't know his name, but even if I knew him, I would not call his name. He said, and I'll quote him, but I will not call his name, that we are breaking the laws of the Republic by proposing a referendum to our people. Now, this is a person that wants to be president of a country. Goes on the radio and say, the president is breaking the law because he's proposing a referendum. Now, what is a proposal? We have instruments during this election period that we believe that can help you. And that's why we propose a referendum. And the proposal is for you to go and make sure if it's in your interest, you vote for it. But they will not explain to you, they will say no. No, you should say yes to the referendum. Because the referendum give you the opportunity for you to be what you want to be. It's nothing against you. and the president did not break any law. Some people say they're proposing a referendum because the president want to act like Cote d'Ivoire or Guinea. He want to go a third term. But I can guarantee you, if I'm the president, I want to go for a third term or fourth terms, then 2005, I'm going to insist. I'm going to insist that the result be for us. But because I believe in what you gave me and what God offered me, I decided to stay away, and today I am the president. The referendum, I want you to know, is not to go third term or fourth term or fifth term. The referendum is to give you the opportunity for you to serve too. Because in our society, we got so many people that have long term, they got nothing to show.
Former Vice President and political leader of the former Ruling Unity Party said Liberia is beginning to suffer rapid setbacks and poor governance and assault on the constitution when President George Weah took over the leadership of the country. Addressing the media at his 76th birthday celebration in Thamesville, Mr. Bouakai criticized the president and his officials over their failure to declare their assets after taking office in keeping with the law. Former VP Bouakai also accused the Weah-led government of turning the Liberian National Police into a partisan unit to be used against perceived enemies.
What would have happened to this country has CDC government taken over the leadership of this country in 2006, judging from the record of 2018, and convinced that the situation would have been too ghastly to contemplate. Let us take stock of CDC government and Mr. Weah's leadership, governance, and the rule of law. 1. Liberia began to suffer rapid setback by poor governance and assault on the Constitution immediately Weah and the CDC came to power in 2018. Mr. Weah and his officials refused to declare their assets after taking office in keeping with the law. Mr. Weah himself only did so surreptitiously under the threat of protest by university students to disrupt the July 26th celebrations. That year, and rumors began to circulate widely that he and his officials were allegedly using public resources to amass private wealth. Up to the date, the Liberian people still do not know the veracity of Mr. Weah's assets declaration or how many of his officials have declared their assets. The government has endeavored to turn the Liberian National Police into a partisan unit to be used against perceived enemy, despite the fact that the LNP was trained as professional force by unpaid finance by donors' money as part of the security sector reform. Allegations arise that the CDC is in the business of training private militias and assassins to target opposition figures and intimidate opponents. There have been a spree of mysterious killings and disappearances, most of which the police have yet to investigate to submit credible reports. Liberians now live in fear and insecurity.
Youth Media Action has launched its Child Broadcaster 2020 edition with plans of possible extensions in other counties. As KMTV's Lofty Winnerway reports, the program is designed to help young people identify good and harmful media practices.
The program designed to give kids insights on media content regulations, which started in 2016 with a limited number of 5 high schools, have made tremendous progress and now works with multiple high schools across Monrovia with plans of extension in other counties.
So we've been around for a while now. Every year we try to organize the child broadcasting program for which we are here today. What we're trying to do basically is, for us, we want to see how best we can have new breed of journalists. Because sometimes you listen to the radio, you feel bad. Sometimes the information you want to hear, you don't get the information. Sometimes you watch the television, the kind of stories you want to watch, you don't watch the kind of stories. So for us, we don't want to have just workshop for the bigger ones, and at the end of the day, maybe they go back and do the same thing. We want to start investing in the young people.
The dream of the Youth Media Action is gradually being realized as some kids have started proving beyond all reasonable doubt that they can be eloquent newscasters and anchors, while previous participants gave testimonies of knowledge acquired from the program.
From our central studio in Painesville, outside the nation capital Monrovia, hello to everyone and welcome to the Voice of Hope, a production of the News and Public Department of Kingdom of Hope. Today is December 1st, 2020. My name is Mr. Apike Sajay Alowe. First, the headlines. The chairman of the Student Progressive Party SDA vows to maintain unity among students.
The Student Council President of the Sikisito Catholic High School, Cyrus Boko, has donated play bowls and other items to the school.
The youth-led media initiative is not only training youth in journalism, it is also helping them learn other basic disciplines and skills.
We are not actually training journalists. We are trying to instill some sort of discipline and skills in them. Because at this time, when I was growing up, I didn't even know all this. We used to do African Costume Day and maybe a Career Day. Then we say, I want to be doctor, I want to be this, I want to be that. But we're trying to take the burden from your head. Instead of the kids sitting at home and they just, oh, about this, you see, sister Nami, you see, the person does this, the person does, and all that kind of confusion, and they running all around the street. We say, no, we'll take your trouble. And so we're taking up that task. It's the second year. And we want to make sure we give them some level of skills. We're not getting them all, because the time is too short, but we just want to start from little by little by little by little. You heard Frederick and the other and Isaiah came up here. We worked with them before, and so we want to work with all of them.
KMTV News, Lofty Winaway, Monrovia.
Lofty Winaway with that report. Well, folks, that brings us to the close of this edition of News Today. But before we go, there are stories that made the headlines. President George Weah refutes statement by opposition political parties of setting the country backward. Armed Forces of Liberia outlines plans to assist the joint security during December 8th elections. Opposition collaborating political party continues to backlash at processes leading toward the December 8th referendum. Well, I want to say thanks for your viewing pleasure. Other than I'm Zac Sherman, do have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday evening.